LEGO finally did it. They completed the fleet with the UCS A-Wing Starfighter. The set retails for $200 with a part count of 1,673 pieces. Speaking of pieces, there's a wide variety of useful and relatively new parts in white, gray, dark red, black, and even some trans yellow for the engines. Triangle tiles, cut slopes, and cylindrical pieces are included here too. So how does this model match the reference source? Actually pretty well. They went for an iconic dark red and white color scheme from the original trilogy, which is definitely the predictable look. But one feature I'm happy to see LEGO achieve here is the tiny gap down the front, which is something that no official playset has ever actually used before. It's got the same angle as the 3x6 wedge plate, and that's pretty neat here. You can see how it breaks apart. But on the other hand, one thing I'm not too psyched about is that there's a ton of studs on the bottom. It just really detracts from the look as a whole and doesn't really match the sleek aesthetic that the top has. Additionally, there's these awkward side areas that just don't look good whatsoever. They use this plate kind of step down technique to achieve the curved look, and it really throws me off. It just doesn't look good in comparison to the rest of the model. On the other hand, they're attached using some really cool angles, and you can see here the Technic Structure underneath, but it doesn't make up for the mediocre look as a whole. Moving down the ship, we get to the cockpit. This is actually a brand new element. It's currently exclusive to the set, but will be appearing in light bluish gray in the 2020 Razor Crest set from the Mandalorian TV series. Once you remove that piece though, you'll find a nicely detailed chair, joystick, computer screen, and the joystick is actually movable, but you're not going to be using it. I mean, the cockpit is pretty much sealed shut. It's kind of easy to get off, but I don't think that's intentional whatsoever. These fairly large blaster cannons, and they can actually move back and forth. It's kind of pointless. They say it's a cool feature, but honestly it wasn't that difficult for them to incorporate at all by the looks of it. It's apparently in some reference book, but you never see it on screen in any of the films or TV shows. Now we finally get to those massive engines. I love the dark red stripe on the side. It widens out very nicely to the larger 6x6 trans clear dish pieces, which are new and yellow for the set, by the way. And with the engines comes these dual fins made up of wedge plates. I really don't like how these look. They should have just been built with regular standard bricks to give it smooth edges on both sides, but you can see the anti-studs, which really deters me from liking it. Additionally, you can easily bump the engines and it totally knocks them out of alignment, which is a bummer for a UCS set that should be kind of sturdy here. Possible solutions to this could have been like a ratchet joint, which would have really helped from, hitting it, or at least you could knock them into the same point by clicking them into the same hinge, which would allow them to seem like they're one connected fin on both sides. Finally, the stand is pretty basic. It has a 8x16 tile space for the plaque sticker sheet that I didn't apply here because I don't use stickers. And then there's a tiny spot for the A-Wing pilot figurine, and that figure is pretty much okay. I mean, it's got a little bit of detail, no arm printing. It's an A-Wing pilot for your A-Wing set, what do you expect? Moving back to the stand, you can actually see that it's posable. You can shift it back and forth. It can either be standing straight up or at a slight angle if you want to give the ship a little bit more of a dynamic look when you're posing it on your shelf. It's definitely the best part of the stand as a whole and a major improvement from past sets. My final score for the set would be somewhere around a 7.5 out of 10, maybe even a little bit lower. It captures the essence of the in-universe craft decently well, but the awkward construction of the front, abundance of studs on the bottom, fragile fins hold the set back from perfection. However, it is pretty large and very impressive on your shelf, and there's some strong attributes like the moving cannons, the cockpit pieces. Again, all the tiled areas are very nice. And that's about it. So thank you guys so very much for watching, and be sure to subscribe to the RebelLUG YouTube channel for more content coming soon.